If you picture the Northwest with tall evergreens, local wineries, quiet trails, and a real sense of community, you're probably picturing somewhere a lot like Battleground. And in a county that's moving at a lightning fast speed, Battleground isn't chasing what's next. It's more rooted, not rushed. They know exactly who they are and they do things on their own pace. So if you want to know more about Battleground, Washington, stay tuned. Welcome back to Living in the Pacific Northwest with Halberd. I'm Halberd. I am a local licensed realtor and relocation specialist in Southwest Washington, primarily focusing on Clark County. I'm also licensed in Oregon, so we cover the entire Portland metro area. And if you've watched our videos, The Lay of the Land, here about the 5 boroughs of Clark County, you will have heard of Battleground. This video is long overdue, with Battleground being one of the 5 major boroughs in Clark County. And it's becoming more and more upcoming. Every time we hear about stories about Battleground in the news or just see some of the development that they have going on, it's very interesting and appealing to a lot of people. And today we're going to discuss the history of Battleground. We're going to talk about the population, where we think it's headed, some of the housing options there. And I think you'll find this video really helpful as a baseline video to learn more about Battleground, Washington. So first up, I want to talk about the historical origins of the name Battleground, because so many people, when they call me from out of state, are like, why is it called Battleground? What's with the name? Some people are very turned off by it. They're like, I don't want to live in a place called Battleground. So it just depends, I guess, on how you feel. What's interesting about the name is that it's named after a battle that never took place. So I'll share that story in a bit, but let's talk about some of the facts. Battleground was platted in 1902 and ended up being incorporated June 18th of 1951. It's about 11 miles north of Vancouver, and the city limits have a land area of about 3.6 square miles. Compare that to Vancouver's almost 52 square miles. Most recently, the population was estimated just over 22,000. Battleground, in terms of size, is right in the middle when it comes to the 5 major cities in Clark County. You have Vancouver at 200,000, Camas at 27,000, Battleground at 22, Washougal at 18, and Ridgefield being the smallest at 16,000. So if you're kind of trying to rank where it compares, that being said, many times it feels like it's the smallest town of those 5 because it doesn't have a major highway running through it. So Vancouver and Ridgefield have I-5 going through them. Vancouver, Camas, and Washougal all have State Route 14 going through them, which is a major thoroughfare along the southern part of the state. It connects all of the towns along the southern part of the state. So Battleground doesn't have any of those, or Highway 205, which runs south of Portland as a sort of alternative route through Portland metro area. So it splits off of I-5 south of Portland and then rejoins north of Portland in Salmon Creek. Battleground doesn't have any of that. They have very small local highways. They have 502 and 503 running through it. So contextually, it creates a little bit of insulation. If you've heard me talk about Ridgefield, you've heard me talk about some of the insulation that being slightly farther out gives you. Battleground, I would say, gives you the most insulation from Portland. It's the least convenient to get to from, let's say, like the airport or downtown Portland. And because of that, that ends up being very appealing to people who don't want big city life, who want a small town, a community vibe, who maybe want to live on land. That being said, there's been a lot of new housing developments, which means smaller lots, new construction, a very different look to what Battleground has been historically. So to give you some real numbers in terms of context, to the airport, you can expect to be about 25 to 40 minutes from the city center of Battleground to the airport. If you live more rurally, you're gonna add time on for that. If you're going during rush hour, it's about 40 minutes from city center. To downtown Portland, you're looking at about 30 to 45 minutes on average, and it's about 2.5 to 3 hours to Seattle. just to give you some context on driving times if you were to live in Battleground. Battleground has a lot of flat land, so if you're looking for acreage and you want it to be relatively flat, Battleground is a great place for that, but it also has elevation depending on the part of town that you're looking at. And one of the things I like is that Battleground has 22 parks with over 70 acres of park space. Plus it has open space reserves. You've got Battleground Lake State Park. Battleground Lake State Park is really cool because it's over 280 acres of park space right in Battleground. It's got boating options, fishing, you can go horseback riding, hiking, camping. It's got a ton to offer and it's right in town. You do need a pass to go there. So if you are a local, I just recommend buying an annual pass so that you can go there and go walking and hiking. But there's several options for trails, and I think that that's one thing that's overlooked when people talk about Battleground is just how much access to nature there is. Now, when we look at notable events, and we're talking about in this section, community and lifestyle, you have Harvest Days in July, which is like parades and chili cook-offs. You have Halloween, which is like a pooch parade and the Battleground Boo Bash. And then you have an early bird holiday bazaar, holiday tree lighting and celebration, and the Battle of the Lights. And another big event is the Park Appreciation Day. So you can hear when we're talking about Battleground, there's a very distinct culture. It is a culture of like a country vibe, laid back, community feel. That is what you get when you're in Battleground for sure. In terms of local dining and restaurant industry, wineries, that kind of thing, you've got Heisenhouse Vineyards. This is a very popular wedding destination. It's a historic setting, really cute barn. They've got wines, ciders. Very cool to have something like that in Battleground. So when we're looking at the restaurants, the bulk of the restaurants are going to be in the downtown Battleground area, which the main crossroads there is going to be the intersection of Main and 10th. Actually, right at that intersection, there's a place called the Pita House that has amazing food. Many people say it's some of the best gyros you can get in the Portland metro area. Recently, Battleground opened Battleground Station, which is a food cart pod. There's a similar one called Oak Tree Station in Camas. These are very, very popular in the Northwest. Obviously, the idea originating in Portland, these food cart pods where instead of restaurant owners and entrepreneurs having to start a full brick and mortar or having a food truck that drives around different places, they have a cart that stays in the same place but gives them very low overhead. And one of the things that I think that's great about them is it allows a lot of variety. So you've got several different options at Battleground Station. You've got the Margarita Factory, you've got bistros and tap houses like Earth and Cup Bistro and Tuke's Tap House. You've got Barrel Mountain Brewing. There's a lot of different options for the size of the town, and you've got a lot of mixtures. So you've got Thai food, Asian fusion food, so you've got the Mediterranean covered, you've got Mexican food covered. There is no Indian food that I'm aware of in Battleground though. So for the size of the town, you get pretty good variety, and then also you can easily go into Vancouver for even more variety, and then further south into Portland for the most variety in a 3-hour radius, 2-hour radius. Now I want to look at real estate and some of the trends there. Battleground, like a lot of Clark County, has very mixed housing. You have everything from small single-family homes to manufactured homes in parks, also manufactured homes on land where you own the land, rural properties, new construction. There's a lot of different options. So let's go over the numbers for the last 12 months. The median home price across all of Battleground for the last 12 months was $554,000, and there were 614 homes sold total in Battleground, or anything that has a Battleground address. So that includes the city limits, but also unincorporated areas of Battleground. 164 of those homes, or about 25%, were on 1+ acre. That's a huge percentage. Almost more than a quarter of the homes sold in Battleground had more than 1 acre. So if you're looking at land, Battleground will continually come up because there's so many amazing options for homes on land. And the median price point, if you're looking at 1+ acres, is $818,000. Now, if you want a larger home in Battleground, that's 3,000 square feet or more, the median price point jumps up to $1 million. And if you want a larger home, 3,000 square feet plus on 1+ acre, the median price point jumps up to $1.2 million. In Battleground, I would say the majority of homes that are large homes on land are going to range in the $1 million to $2 million mark. So $2 million is about where the market tops out. You'll see some outliers above $2 million, but really the bulk of the luxury market or the market with large homes on land is going to be in that $1 to $2 million range. And then I can't talk about Battleground without mentioning new construction. There were 162 new construction homes. Of that, 614 sold. So again, about a quarter of the homes are new construction. And of those, 116 of them were detached single family homes. Because when we talk about the median price point, we're talking about all homes. So that's detached, that's land, that's condos, that's attached homes like townhomes, that's manufactured homes on land, manufactured homes in park. It takes into account everything. So I kind of like to break things out on this channel so that you guys can get a sense of, not everyone is looking for a condo. So is it relevant to share condo data if, the majority of people are looking at single family homes? I try to cover the things that I see people looking for, which is most of our clients fall into 3 categories. You have the clients that are looking for land, whether that's a luxury home on land or not. You've got people looking at new construction specifically, and then you have the resale market. Those are the 3 main areas of our market, and so it represents what most of our clients want as well. Now, one of the things that's important to mention here is that there is regional pressure on Battleground. So a lot of people who've lived in Battleground for a long time don't necessarily love the development that's happening. You'll see a lot more new construction communities popping up. Most of those are close to downtown, but you do see some being built out in rural areas. You can be driving out in the country and you'll be like, oh, this is country. And then all of a sudden you'll see like 10 new construction homes like packed in next to each other. It's a strange dichotomy. But the reason for that is, as Portland is losing residents and Oregon losing some of those residents to Washington, Southwest Washington, Vancouver, the density is pushing people out further and suburbanizing more and more areas in the county. And I do see that Battleground becomes really attractive to people who are wanting more land, a lower cost, but still have a reasonable commute. My clients that live in Battleground kind of fit that narrative. They want space, but they want a good value for their dollar. And I think that Battleground is one of the places in the county where your dollar goes the furthest in terms of either getting the largest house or the most amount of land or the best square footage for your price point. That is a big draw to Battleground. And a little bit closer to home, when my husband and I are looking at homes that have either an existing shop or space for a shop, Battleground comes up a lot because you have that flat land. So places like Camas, if you can find the acreage at a good price, might have more of a slope and therefore not be ideal to build a shop on. Whereas Battleground, I think you have a lot more flexibility with your land. You could homestead, you could have a shop, you could be a hobbyist, or actually some of our clients live in Battleground are artists, and there was an art studio, a detached art studio on the land that they bought that backs up to a lake. So there's, some really cool things that Battleground can offer you in the way of a unique property that is very difficult to find in other parts of the county. Now, if you're still with me, I promised you the story of how Battleground got its name. So let's go back in time. Battleground owes its name to an 1855 encounter between a company of Washington volunteers from Fort Vancouver, led by Captain William Strong, and members of the Klickitat tribe that fled an internment near Fort Vancouver. At the time, there was a lot of distrust and fear between settlers and Native Americans of the area. Captain Strong and his company followed the Klickitat tribe members to a location northeast of Fort Vancouver, which is in current central Clark County. The encounter that many expected would become violent and become a battle never did. Captain Strong made an agreement with the Klickitat leader, Chief Tuck, that tribe members would return to the fort the next day. But in a mysterious turn of events, still unsolved today, the chief was killed. Captain Strong made the decision to withdraw his troops and allow the tribe members the time they needed to honor their fallen chief, and he trusted their word that they would return to the fort. So while peace prevailed and the tribe members honored their word by returning to the fort, Captain Strong was criticized and mocked by many for his actions. The area where he had met up with the tribe became referred to as Strong's battleground, and soon after, the area began to appear on maps as just battleground. So in closing, we covered some of the stats, the history, the real estate market, restaurants and dining, some of the vibe and community and lifestyle that you can expect in Battleground. So I want to talk about who I think this area might be great for. I think it's great for people who are craving serenity, access to nature. I think it's great for families who want more space, people who may have to commute to Vancouver or Portland, but want to be able to retreat somewhere a little slower paced and quiet in their evenings. It's great if you want local wine, small businesses, roadside farm stands. And if you want an extra layer of separation from Portland, Portland gets a bad rap in the news, so I understand why people might want that. I still love Portland, but that's another story. And it's also great for people who want a more conservative leaning in terms of values and politics. Battleground definitely falls within that category. So I hope you found this video useful. So you'll be seeing some more videos about Battleground Washington on our channel, including what's coming, what developments, what's new. We're going to talk about what they don't tell you about Battleground. That one is going to be juicy. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. But you know we don't shy away from talking about tough things here. We're going to talk about some of the new construction that's available. We have several new construction videos about Battleground. You can check those out here. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the Pacific Northwest, make sure to shoot us a text at 360-818-4438. Myself and my team would be happy to assist you on your journey, whether you're looking to move to or within the Clark County and Portland metro areas. We thank you for being here. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a comment. Let me know, what do you think about Battleground? What are your impressions? Are you planning on moving here? Do you already live here? Did I capture Battleground well? I love hearing from locals, especially about, what they think, like where I, hit the nail on the head, but maybe where they feel like I missed the mark. And that's one of the things I like, is that everyone has a different perspective, and it's really cool to hear everyone. So I will catch you guys in the comments. Until next time, ciao.